Alright guys, so you joined me in my BMW and I'm going to take you through a bit of a leak issue that I've had. So I'll pop open my bonnet and I'll come across, and I think an advice I have for owners is always check under the hood of your, if there's a gasket or if there's a seal, BMW is going to find a way to leak from it, stay on top of it, right? And really one of the biggest issue with leaks is, for whatever reason, you can leak obviously your oil filters over here and your housings over there and your valve covers there, all on the top, and then below that is your serpentine belt. And for whatever reason, the design is done that way where your serpentine belt sits below most of the areas that can leak. And what happens is when you get oil on that belt, that weakens the belt, and if it pops off, the engine can eat that belt. So that's a common issue, guys, with the N series motors. Not a common issue per se, but with leaks, that's an issue where over time your belt degrades and your engine can just eat it up. Then you got to drop your oil pan, do all of that jazz. So because of that, I'm very conscious all the time about leaks. I'm always checking. I've got low kilometers, but it's an old car now, right? It's 9 years old. It's an M235i here. It's 9 years old. You've got to be checking for leaks. So anyways, last night I had some friends over and I was showing them my engine bay. They said, "Oh, Mr. M235 fan, your bay looks really clean." I said, "Why, thank you." And then, while they were doing that, I noticed, a bit of seepage, and I've wiped most of it away, but you could see some of that. I'll attach some photos, and I noticed some seepage just around the oil filter cap. And the oil filter housing gasket leak that happens, that's actually it's leaking. I'd see some dripping on that pipe, etc. So I'm about 90% confident that the leak has come from the filler cap. What's concerning for me is that it was only, my service was done 6 months ago, so and I keep tabs on it, and I didn't notice that before. It has been cold in Melbourne. So it's been very, very cold lately, and it could be because of that. It's been below zero pretty consistently for the last 2 weeks. So yeah, look, for now I've wiped it off. I'm gonna keep an eye on it, but just for future reference, guys, always be on the lookout for this. Look out over this area. This is where your oil filter housing gasket is, and then you want to just duck in and always be checking out this piping over here, and then your belt and pulleys would sit underneath. Make sure you're not letting any oil get there, right? You want to keep your engine bay pretty squeaky clean, guys. And then the other thing with these cars is your valve cover, right? And your valve cover gasket. And for that, you just want to look at this plate over here. And you just want to see if there's any drippings of oil, and my car is very clean. And while you're here, guys, and I don't want to make this into a bigger video than it is, always be on the lookout for your coolant level, right? You're gonna have a min and max sign here. Make sure your coolant is within those levels. You've got to check that, because I know these cars don't have a dipstick, right? So a lot of us, there's no point opening the hood, but you've got to be checking your oil leaks from here, from there. If your car's parked, make sure you're checking in your garage, and then you've got to be looking at that coolant. And the other thing, you'll join me inside the car. So I'll just show you what it looks like a bit. It's a M235i, got the dual exhaust, fully stock, guys. I take good care of my roof as well. It's nice and inky black, so I do love this car. She's the car has leaking tendencies, but I do love her nonetheless. And the other thing you really want to look at is your oil level, right? You've got no dipstick, so you've got to go into your vehicle information and vehicle status, and then do a check control. That seems okay. And then you really want to do your measure engine oil level, this oil check. And guys, I want to tell you, with this oil check, you want to be checking your oil every 1,500 kilometers, right? And the reason that I say that, I spoke to my mechanic about this, and he said that if your car is burning oil a liter every 1,500, that's okay. That's apparently within spec, right? Within tolerance. They see BMWs do that. It's only if it's burning more than that, it's very concerning. So you want to be checking every 1,500 kilometers, stopping your car on a flat surface and check your oil. And it'll tell you, so once it comes up, it'll tell you if you've lost a liter, you haven't, or how much you've lost, where your level sits. But you've got to be doing that very periodically. Okay, so that's just finished up now, and you could see my engine oil levels at maxed. Now, when I had my last top up, it was about 1,000 kilometers ago, so it's good. It doesn't look like my BMW's eaten any oil. in the last 1,000 kilometers. But hope this video helps, guys. I guess the real key summaries and takeaways really of this video are: be on top of your BMW, get under the hood, right? If you're a DIY person, you're already doing this, but you all know my channel. I'm an engineer. I usually don't work on my vehicles, but I love keeping up to date and having an idea of what's going on with the car, and really, I guess, project managing the process. And that's kind of what engineers do. I know in the industry that's it's a bit of a funny one how we operate, but that's kind of how it is. So keep on top of that, guys. Check under your bonnet, check under the car, do your oil level measurements, and hope she'll treat you right. And you'll join me in the next one. Thank you.